This is me designing the movie posters that I'm in. This is a shirt that I lost twice and rebought once. And this is Jess Paul. So last week we spun the wheel on mashup, which means I wanted to give you something that I've never done before, that I've never put together before. And I decided I really wanted to do filmmaking and acting combined with my art. And honestly, one of the biggest ways I ever do that is designing posters for films. Often, films that I am in. And I'm not mad at it, because that means that whenever I put a poster out there in the world of a movie that I'm going to be in, I feel like I'm representing myself well. I feel like it looks like I'm in a really cool movie. In my opinion, you might not like my posters. I can't help that. We're going to be making this poster today. Can you even see it? Is it in focus? And I'm going to take you through all the steps of how I go about designing something like this. So to introduce the movie that we are talking about, my friend Joshua DeMaili, we did tons of stuff together when I lived in Pittsburgh. In fact, he was the first one to ever cast me in any kind of film media when I got out of college. I love his writing so much, and I love him as a filmmaking partner. And I've also designed a lot of work for both his movies and his novels. So we're going to do the exact same thing today. I called him up. I'm like, Josh, I need to do a video. Can I just make a poster for you of what I think this movie could possibly use as far as a concept poster? Because, you know, there are posters that have the characters' faces on them, but a lot of the times when I'm designing, we're not even at that stage where we have our entire cast to take pictures of, or we know exactly what the final image is going to look like, the final themes, cinematic look. So I make one up. So if you want to see how I make this, stick around, as if you were just going to watch the intro then leave. That's weird. So now why don't you turn your attention to the other side of the screen. Hey peeps, this feels like Boy in a Band. Hey, I'm Dave from Boy in a Band.
Hi, I'm Dave from Boy in a Band.
The movie that I'm designing for has kind of a gothic feel. When I think of gothic, I think of those kind of peaks, triangles, steeples, tall, French, stained glass, just naming things now. And my original idea focused around the very top of the church that usually has kind of like a cross weather vane. Let's see if we can find something like that. Oh yeah, like those guys. It's really dramatic though. See this? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Very, very fancy. I don't know if the building that is in the story is that fancy. Actually, this one is really close to kind of what I was thinking. It's not as fancy, but it is quite gothic. I love this one. We're probably going to use this now that I've collected all of these other photos. And now let's get some of our other images that are going to be superimposed, like this angel. I want something hopefully scary, but I don't know if we're gonna find that in a normal cemetery. Hello, tombstones. Wow, you look gross and scary and old. I love that. Yikes. There's a whole building on fire there. Okay. So, we now have our stock photos. We're going to move on to my editing, my great vision. Oh, and if there are any graphic designers watching me, feel free to tell me all the things I'm doing wrong. I'm always learning, even though I've been in this business a long time. Photoshop always changes. Standards always are variable. So, if you want to give me some tips, I'm going to take them. It's like free education. When I begin to design, I usually start with the very first thing that popped into my head, which is kind of a standard for a lot of the things I do. Character names, movie titles, and then once I'm in the meat of it, I kind of think of more variables and more ideas. It's kind of just to get started, because sometimes we just need that push to just start the damn thing. So, yeah, we're gonna make this black and white, a little bit of high contrast here. I'm going for a style that I don't know what it's called. I'm calling it like image superimposition. I'm not even sure myself. But I see it all the time. It's a little teensy little bit dated. It's like a 2016, 2017 kind of trend, maybe even earlier than that. I like it. I've always wanted to do it, so we're going to do it today. I have an inkling that there are a couple different ways to do this. I have done this to an extent before, but I don't know how everybody else exactly does it. I'm going to be messing around, probably making a lot of mistakes. You're welcome. Have fun. But I'm not sure how everybody does it. You will see how I do it, though. First of all, you know what? Just to kind of start somewhere, I'm going to make a mask that separates the sky and the object. Hi, I'm Dave from Boy in a Band. I like his videos. Do you like my shirt? My mom just sent it to me in the mail. This is a shirt that I lost twice and rebought once because I liked it so much, but I kept losing it. Do you ever just like lose items of clothing and they must obviously disappear into another dimension that you're not aware of how to get to? But she just found it in my stocking drawer at home because I needed to get her to send me a bunch of fishnet stockings so that I could take a photo shoot where I'm a prostitute because I'm living in Los Angeles and playing the rules that are given to me. Fun. Somebody needs to play prostitute, right? Why can't it be me? Why does it have to be me? So, if I start off with a nice, clean mask, I don't have to worry about much later. That's one thing that I've tried to do over time as a graphic designer. Just be as organized as I possibly can. Because when you are trying to find something that you just threw in some folder and didn't name correctly or didn't organize the layers on your great work, sometimes it gets a little stupid looking. What am I doing? That's something that I say a lot when I'm editing. This might be a short project, which would be really great, except I really don't have any idea. Okay, whoa, that almost did the work for me. Let's test this out and see how we can change. Now, one thing that you want to do if you are an aspiring graphic designer, and that's why you're here, is make sure to put all of your edited layers in some folders. Not make sure, if you want to. I'm not telling you what to do, but that was loud. I like to put my editing layers per like an object. So we've got the background and we've got the subject. So we're gonna say steeple edits. When you are going back and forth, like especially if you are retouching a person, you can turn that layer on and off and you can see everything that you just edited. Anyways, we're just gonna turn off that layer and then we have that. I never have to talk myself through stuff as I go, but I do want to kind of articulate what I'm looking at and doing here. I love my art form of graphic design. It's kind of an odd one because, you know, it's digital. So when people think of artist, they either think of like musical artists. Let me name all the kinds of artists. But they usually think painting and drawing, which is where I started out, but a lot more when we're talking about the kind of artistry that people want for their own businesses. When I was kind of building my business to start off with, I realized that the money was in the art form of kind of like Photoshop imagery, which is fine with me because I think it's dope. What if I get hungry during this? What am I gonna do? Just deal with it, Jessica. You're a human being that makes their own decisions. You can wait like a half hour to eat something else. Okay. This is going more towards the way I like it. Okay, so we've got this angel here. We're going to be doing a lot of compositing. Compositing? That sounds like a correct word that I always used to use. Ooh, do we want it all the way up there? Yeah, let's try that for now. But what we're going to do is maybe see if we can leak some of the actual steeple through, because that's what I wanted. And that's going to be done with a couple, what are these called? Effects, blending effects. and also some opacity change. And we're also going to be, as you will see, it's like I'm telling myself, reminding myself how to do graphic design. Because I want kind of both pieces. I'm going to show you a reference photo that actually was from another project, but I'd already thought of doing this and somebody gave me this perfect example. So this is the effect we want. Whatever that's called. Composition. Wait, I just had the word. What was the word? Being confused as a graphic designer with Jess Paul. Welcome to my show. Now I want to pick a cemetery that's going to kind of blend right well with the bottom. This one might be good because it has a tree that's kind of going up into the top that might play well there. As opposed to this, which is a lot of sky. Let's attempt this guy. Welcome to the composition graveyard. Okay. Superimpose. Superimpositions. Making up words. I'm sure that even that made up word is spelled wrong. Typical. Hey, we're in business. Like, we're kind of almost done. No, we're not. I always think that I'm almost done with the project, and then there's like hours more work of things that I either think of or the client thinks of. Okay, we're gonna blend this. We're gonna blend this, see if we can do that. Oh man, it's like covering the entire steeple. Playing with our opacities. Oh, that's gonna look good if we're gonna play with the opacities because it will take some of the sky out maybe. So that you can just get the ghost of the picture, which is definitely what we're going for. Ghosts. Who doesn't want ghosts? One of my tips, which might be an obvious one, but maybe it's not, because I watch a lot of videos to continually educate myself and I learn new things all the time. If you're going to erase something, don't erase it. Masks are what you should be using instead when you are putting together a complex design. Complex. It's not really complex. You're going to be moving things around. You're going to be trying out different things, coming back to pieces later. And what a mask does is it blocks out the things you don't want and keeps the things at the forefront that you do want by just black and white screen, like paintbrushes. I'm so good at explaining things. It's able to, bring pieces of your editing back instead of erasing it from existence. Look at them trees. I love that texture there. And this corner. I'm so glad that that's showing through. I think I'm going to keep the angel just like that because the texture of the steeple running down is like very grungy and very spooky. Love ghosts. Yeah. All right. Ghosts. Ghosts. This is much different than I imagined, and I don't know if I like it more or less. Let's bring some of this opacity back, and then we're going to keep the things that we like and start erasing the things that we want to get rid of. Like right through the center there. I'm going to make that tree a little bit more visible. Don't congratulate yourself too much, Jessica. You barely started. That. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the movie. I don't know if Josh will mind. I guess I'll record it and then ask him how much I can say. But Josh just finished the script. I love the script. I've actually been listening to the description of what this story's about for a long time because he's been kind of conceptualizing it and writing it. And I mean, I adore the story. It's right up my alley as far as genre goes. Working in Photoshop is always figuring out why the one layer is not working. Oh, it's because... Okay, that's what it is. I want to listen to music! It'll be fine, Jessica. I wonder if I can listen to music and talk to you guys at the same time. That's so glorious. Oh my gosh. I love my concept so much. Hopefully it doesn't get too convoluted. One thing to check if your design is reading well at a distance, it's pretty simple. Again, like all these tips are pretty obvious, but it's a good day job. I get to be creative. I get to do things that I like, and it's something that I can use in the real world. obviously, as you see. Sometimes making money off of what you do or making a life off of what you do has to do more with the implementation of that skill as opposed to just the basis of it. Like, if you are not being successful at what you're doing, it might not be get a different job. It might be figure out a market and a way to use your skills in a way that obviously has a demand. For me, one way that I found to kind of marry my two passions was doing the graphic design for movie posters. And goodness, when you're looking at a good movie poster on a film that you're in, and you get to represent yourself that way and say, like, look at all the cool projects I'm doing. A lot of your Facebook friends or the people that are in your little industry, they might not see the movies themselves for a long time, if at all. They're seeing the marketing. So I tell filmmakers often, if you're not putting a lot of thought into either the marketing materials, the imagery, are you getting out of your movie what you want? Are enough people seeing it? Do enough people want to see it by the imagery that they're first presented with? I really do think that marketing is sometimes almost as important, if not more important, than the actual film. But I would only say that because I love marketing. Put down in the comments what your passion is. Maybe what your job is, and if you have any ideas to turn your job into something that you can creatively sustain. I don't make all these faces either while I'm sitting here alone. Actually, maybe I do. Sometimes I do. Some YouTubers worry about getting demonetized for singing songs on theirs. I'm so tone deaf that I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with that. I really do. I want to learn how to sing. I'm gonna do that eventually. This is fun and relaxing. Oh, what a nice project I've made for myself. Oh, let me talk about the movie. I think I was meaning to do that and then the camera shut. So let me talk about this movie. The movie's called Unburied. You know that. And he just finished writing it. We're talking about the script. We're kind of, talking about the plot and pre-production development. And I play a character. My character's name is Janessa, Nessie for short. She's a basket case, can talk to the dead, but you don't really know if she can or if she's just crazy the entire time. And Melanie, who's the protagonist of the movie, she comes in, she kind of tries to figure it out. She's a psychology person. She's a psychologist. And she doesn't know whether to believe this girl. And a lot of things unfold. There's a graveyard. There's a funeral home, which is where this setting kind of makes a lot of sense. We're going to add more to the sky. I feel like, is that a good idea? Or is this getting too complicated and convoluted? Alright, so this is another picture that I pulled. But I like this steeple better. But I like the birds. The clouds, I don't think I'm going to get it clear, so we're going to get some different clouds. But let's take these birds. I'm honestly in my element. Oh, look at that! That worked out so well. Wow, you can't even... okay, so what I did over here was I turned it onto the darken effect layer, blend mode. Blend mode? Blend mode sounds like a word that makes sense. Oh, awesome! I love that so much. I might need to change them a little bit, like rotate them around. But we got it. And I want some clouds. So let's go into my stock. So I keep folders and folders of stock photos that I use. I have a lot of food. Stock photos. There's a lot of things in here that I've used on projects before. Just in the past, I collected them and then I keep them because why not? And one thing that I do keep a lot of is clouds because I often need them. Okay. And I want some realistic clouds in the sky. That one's good. Wow. Do I want more ominous clouds though? I saw this hair color on Reddit and I just stole it! I'm like a bird of paradise. Whoa. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. I don't know how I'm feeling about this anymore. That's definitely too much. I am not sure if this tree is working. I think it's kind of the downfall of the piece a little bit because it really interrupts the center. So we're going to start taking that away and seeing how I feel about it. Deciding how I feel. I dig. Clouds. I really don't know. It's like, I want can I just have one cloud? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to export this so that I can do the title, because I never really do any text work in Photoshop. I feel that that's best for InDesign. So I take my export, my JPEG, and then I put it into a layer in InDesign. And that way, when I want to do text on text on text, I can just keep repeating the page, duplicating the page, and then trying different texts on. I really like in birds. Okay, now let's export. Oh my god. I didn't even save this once. What a fucking disaster that would have been. Kids, save your files before anything bad happens. Thank goodness nothing did this time. Oh, I'm still recording. Okay. Alright, I'm recording everywhere. Cool. Alright, so now that we are in InDesign, we're in InDesign. Cool. Hey, there you are. Nice to see you again. Did I spell that right? Unburied, 1 R. Coolness. Actually, I don't really mind that font. What's that, Times New Roman? I kind of like that it's a serif. It's kind of okay. Yeah, that's what I was going for here. Put this maybe, make it in the center. Like that. Okay. Doing business. Opening all my softwares at once so I can crash my iMac. The sun is getting really dramatic. We're going to duplicate the spread. And so now we have 2 posters of the exact same kind, and therefore I can begin to play with the font. I want that kind of old, understated serif font feel for sure. Fun fact, the reason why there are serifs on fonts is 1, they look nice, but 2, they are there because when, I don't know, sculptors or people that made tombstones were chiseling the words into stone, it was kind of a way to mark the end of the letter. And so obviously fitting for the actual project that we have right now. Oh my god, this is actually Josh's favorite font. I wonder if I should use it again. Let's see what it looks like. I quite like that. Maybe we should be making... Okay, I got an idea. Let's make this burgundy. I think that's going to be it for now. I'm kind of up in the air about how I feel about this. It's kind of new for me. The concept, the use of the superimposition in this way. You can kind of see equal amounts of the top layers and the steeple below it, and I don't know if that's correct. I don't know if maybe I should have done more erasing to show more of the steeple, but I'm gonna get Josh's opinion, I think. But I think I like it. Alright. Hey fam, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was quite a unique one, quite different from what we've usually done, but I hope that it was entertaining and educational and brought you a little bit more into the life of a filmmaker / graphic designer who does all of the things. We will not be spinning the wheel this week, and you will not be seeing me for 2 weeks. I, for the first time
in YouTube, my YouTube history, not anyone else's, I would like to do Vlogmas. I've watched people's Vlogmas for years now. I think it's a really cool and very raw look into somebody's life. I'm going home for the holidays, back to Pittsburgh, so you'll see that old childhood bedroom. As far as what I'll be doing, I am going to be doing lots of different things. I have a lot of ideas. They're not just going to be the same style of vlog every single day. I want to think of new concepts, kind of like just the regular show, but all squashed together in 12 consecutive days. I am doing 12. I know that some people do like 24, 25, whole month, whatever. I think that's a lot. I don't think I could be able to handle it. So what I'm going to be doing is kind of pre-filming a lot of the vlog material, and I'm going to be making vlogs out of it starting on December 12th. So if there was any time to ring that bell, it would be for Vlogmas so that you don't miss one. It's going to be pretty random. You don't know what you're going to get, even in the slightest. And I hope you enjoy. This is a huge experiment for me. I'm kind of nervous that I may or may not be able to, you know, accomplish it. But we're going to see, and I'm glad to have you guys along on the ride with me. I hope you have a good holiday season. I'm going to be right there with you, like I said. And I'll see you in 2020. Have a great week, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye!
All right. That looks awesome. I like that, the line that separates un and buried. I really dig that. And the statue and everything, the gravestones at the bottom. It's a nice touch. Genuinely good stuff, Jess. Good job. Awesome.